Morning, I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is courtroom 1, session 1. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Letitia Fowler with the Office of Public Defender.
Elaine Fusco, State Attorney's Office.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Corey Newton.
Mr. Newton, sir, you are here in 20 CF 1305. You were arrested for battery on a person 65 years of age or older. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to the Crab Shack. You're not to have any contact with Robert Constantine, and you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms, sir. Your bond is $500.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning,
Your name?
Crystal. Juan.
Ms. Juan, you are here in case number 20-MO192. You were arrested for unauthorized presence in an unoccupied or unfurnished building.
And Your Honor, I have a PC challenge.
Okay, go ahead.
Within the affidavit, it doesn't state, like, her name wasn't mentioned at all in the police report. It just mentions another individual, which is a Mr. Fennell.
Ms. Fusco?
Your Honor, the state asked for 24 hours to supplement the police report.
Okay. Ms. Juan, did you want to, I mean, I would just stay the bond. I don't know if your client can bond out or not. She'd be able to resolve her case today, and you can waive the PC challenge if you want to, Ms. Fowler. It's up to your client what she wants to do. I mean, if you think that the state's going to be able to establish the probable cause, I would probably, well, it's up to you.
Your Honor, she can't bond out.
All right, so what do you want to do?
Can we see if the state has an offer?
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor, adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court cost, no return to the scene.
Ms. Swan, you would be released today. Did you want to accept that offer?
Yes.
Okay. Sign the plea form, please. Did you read the plea form before court this morning?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're
No.
giving up? Are you on probation?
Huh?
Are you on probation?
I've never been to jail. It's my first time.
Okay. Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to
I
deportation?
am a citizen. I was born here.
Okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
All right, ma'am, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You may not return to 614 West Washington Street. You will have to pay court costs, which are due by January 30th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Oh.
Mr. Cozart, is a refusal, Your Honor.
Well, I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Cozart's appearance based upon his refusal. This is an out-of-county warrant out of Sumter County. His bond is set at none. Good morning, your name?
Sharness Best.
Ms. Bess, you were here in 19 CF 7393. You were arrested for failing to appear at pretrial conference on January 21st of 2020. Your bond is currently set at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion in Division 20 to see if you can get bond reinstated.
And Your Honor, I see that she has conflict counsel
Oh.
on this case.
Okay, so Ms. Best, you're gonna wanna get in touch with Regional Conflict Counsel. That's who's representing you on this case. You don't know who that is?
Can I speak? Okay, well, from the first, with this, missing this court date, I've been in contact with the public defender. Her name is Miss Robin. She works at the public defender office. She's actually pregnant. When the last time I spoke to her on January 2nd, I informed her that I was going to be in compliance with what the state was asking for this case. I've not spoken to her since. The last time that she told me, we had a court date as of February 3rd. I was not informed whatsoever of any court date in between hand. I've been on top of her. I've been asking of court dates to be in compliance with everything that she's asking for. And as far as this counsel here, I don't know who they are. I've never spoken to anyone there. I don't know anything about that. So I'm just kind of like in the middle of a whirlwind. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, let me try to get you some information, okay? Yeah, your trial date was February 3rd, with the pretrial being the 21st of January, which is the date that you missed. So I see where you got the February 3rd date.
But that was the only date that was told to me because due to the fact, I guess, my co-defendant has already signed a plea deal with the state. But I was supposed to be basically cooperating with the state against my co-defendant.
Okay. So, ma'am, I don't have all the information about the cases. I'm not involved, but I can give you, I see that your attorney is, Robin Barra. And they are with Regional Conflict Counsel. Ms. Fowler, you approach and take this. This is her phone number. You're gonna need to call her, and she's gonna have to have this set in front of Judge Cass, that's your trial judge. Okay? And get you back on the docket and see if you can get a bond. All right? Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Dawson is mental health, Your Honor.
So Mr. Dotson was mental health yesterday. Do you think he can come tomorrow, Dexter? Do you think we should reset him for next week or
I think next week.
next week? You
Yes,
want to do that,
ma'am.
Ms. Fowler?
Yeah.
Reset him for Monday? Okay, I'll appoint the public defender and reset Mr. Dotson for Monday. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Muhammad, first name's Naeem.
Yes, Mr. Muhammad, you are here in 20 MO 182. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Muhammad?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court cost.
All right. Sir, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes.
He has 3 days, correct? He starts the 28th? Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Muhammad, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Yes, I have.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up? Any
Wish I
right-
have. I could think of so many questions, but I could come up with any. But really, I'm glad I'm getting out. I'm gonna just try it different.
All right, sir. My question was just a little more specific. I was asking you if you had any questions about any of the rights on the plea form that you read.
No,
Okay. Are you on probation?
no, I'm not on probation.
All right. Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Deportation. Right, yes.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, do you understand
Yes,
that?
I understand.
Okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, I haven't took any drugs or any alcohol
all
while I
right,
was
sir.
incarcerated, no.
I understand, sir.
No.
I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 3 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by January 30th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you.
Well,
This is 20 MM 414. Are you Mr. Diaz?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and this is a motion for order releasing defendant on their own recognizance. Can I ask why Mr. Diaz, is he on the move-up docket? Why is he on the move-up docket? Oh, okay. Which would be what? All right. Ms. Fusco, did you have a position on the motion?
Just, Your Honor, that there is a considerable history and just, related to, his employment for 30 years, that the bond is appropriate for the charge.
And Your Honor, despite his criminal history, he has 0 failures to appears.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Diaz, I'm going to grant your motion at this time. You are to maintain contact with your lawyer. I want you to contact their office within 24 hours of your release from the jail to give them good contact information for you so that you can stay up on your court date.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not to have any contact with the owner of the vehicle. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
sir.
appreciate it. You have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you.
That's
So Mr. Billings Medical.
East Hospital, Your Honor.
We'll reset Mr. Billings. Are you Mr. Kane?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. You were arrested in 20 CF 1306 for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. You're not to return to the Walmart on Princeton Street. Your bond is $1,000, sir. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Cameron Cashwell.
Mr. Cashwell, you're here in 20 CF 1241. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for burglary of a dwelling with an assault or battery therein. I'll appoint the public defender. That is a punishable by life felony. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
If I could have a moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Your Honor, we just asked the court to consider all the facts in the arrest affidavit, including the positive identification and a photo lineup and the witness statements, and find that there is proof evident or presumption great, and hold the defendant with no bond at this time.
Ms. Fowler, do you want to be heard?
Your Honor, I would defer the matter to the court.
Okay. Based upon the information that is contained in this sworn affidavit for arrest, the state has met their burden at this time to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great. Mr. Cashwell, your bond is going to remain at none, or actually it's going to be at none. It was set at $1,000. It's now set at none. You're not to return to the scene. You're not to have any contact with either Virgil Duncan or Virginia Duncan. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
My name is Dominic Crespo.
Mr. Crespo, you are here for a retail theft greater than $300 in 20 CF 1288. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the Lowe's at 3391 Daniels Road. Your bond, sir, is $1,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Let's see, Susie's affidavit. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Who's Crespo?
Mr. Crespo. Sir, you are here in case number 20 CF 880. You were arrested for possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell, possession of cocaine with intent to sell, possession of drug paraphernalia, and trespassing. That was all pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I think these case numbers, do these need to be changed? Because I think there was two questions. Oh, okay. This case number's not on. Okay. Mr. Crespo, your bond on count one is going to be $7,500. Bond on count two is $150. Bond on count three is $100. Bond on count four is $100. I am revoking the bond in 19 CF 13388. Or I'm revoking your ROR and bond will be set at none. Wait, just a second on that. Has the state filed on the out on bond case? He was arrested in September. I don't have a return court date. It was filed in December. It was? Okay, all right, we're all set, sir, thank you. Thank you, April. Good morning, sir, your name?
Michael Fleming.
Mr. Fleming, you were here in 19 CF 16727. You were arrested for carjacking with a firearm, uttering forged bills, and possession of forged notes or bills. This was pursuant to a probable cause capias. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state asked the court to consider all the facts in the arrest affidavit, including surveillance video that captured a portion of this incident, account records for a site used in the transaction in this case, social media posts showing the weapon and false currency described by the victim in the case, in the possession of the defendant, positive identification in a photo lineup. And the state argues that there is proof evident or presumption great the defendant used a handgun to place the victim in fear of his life and take his dirt bike. The state asked that defendant be held without bond. The state also notes that the defendant was in violation of probation related to his possession of a firearm in his travel to Orange County.
Ms. Fowler?
Your Honor, we just asked the court to take into consideration he has a lack of a violent criminal history.
Okay. So the state's met their burden based upon all the information that's contained in the sworn affidavit for arrest to establish that there is proof evident or presumption great at this time, sir. Bond on count one is none. Bond on count two is $2,500. Bond on count three is $1,500. You are not to return to the West Oaks Apartments or have any contact with Nolan Webb or possess any weapons or any firearms. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Matthew Hamilton.
Mr. Hamilton, you have two cases this morning, 20 CF 1008.
Yeah.
You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance and criminal mischief pursuant to a probable cause warrant. You also have 20 CF 1007 where you were arrested for burglary of a conveyance and criminal mischief pursuant to a probable cause warrant. Your bond in 20 CF 1008 on count one is going to be $1,500. Bond on count two is $100. And bonds will be the same amount for the additional case. $1,500 and $100? They're the same for both, for 1007 and 1008. Yes.
Your Honor?
Yes.
You would like to say something?
Sir?
Excuse me, I got locked up in August.
Yes.
And it was the same charges, and I'm pretty sure I already served these warrants. Like, I already did time for the warrants.
Well, I have 3 out on bond, you have 3 other cases that you're out on bond for that you did get arrested for in August. These, you'll have to review the arrest affidavits, but they're alleging different dates. So this one is alleging August 15th and August 17th, and then the other one is alleging, again, August 15th and August 17th. I think it was all in a neighborhood, is what the allegation is. So there's gonna be several different victims for all of the different cars. But you'll have to take a look at that and read it, and if it doesn't seem right to you, then you'll have to have your lawyer file a motion that they think they should file. But I'm not gonna take any action on your other cases because you were already, these offense dates are before the dates for which you were arrested, okay? So just have your lawyer take a look at the new cases and make sure that there's no duplicates. All right? Thank you, sir. You're not to return to that neighborhood or have any contact with any of the victims. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Greg Harder?
Mr. Harden, you're here because you violated your conditions of pretrial release in 19 CF 1056. The judge has reset your bond at 500 on count 1, 100 on count 2, and 100 on count 3. Okay, and then you also have 19 CF 1056. Huh. Which one's first? 22? Does it say April 22? I can't tell what that says. Which? He failed to appear on 4/29. And then the warrant for the PTR is the 22nd of April. Okay, so actually, sir, you don't have a bond on this case at this time because the judge actually signed a warrant on April 22nd, giving you a bond because you'd violated pretrial release, but then you subsequently failed to appear on April 29th, and they revoked the bond, so your bond is set at none. You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion in Division 15, sir. Okay? Thank you.
Ashley Johnson is downtown court, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Fowler, do you want me to appoint your office and wait for appearance on the violation of probation, or the failure to appear?
I see that she has a private attorney.
Oh, she's private? Okay. All right, we'll reset her then. Are you Mr. Morris?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Morris, you're here in 19 CF 7840. Sir, you failed to appear for pretrial conference on October 2nd of 2019. Your bond on count 1 is 100, on count 2, 100, count 3, 5,000, count 4, 100, count 5, 1,000. Thank you. Does he need the public defender appointed on that case? Oh, okay. All right, good. Good morning, sir. Your name? Okay. Are you Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Mr. O'Brien, you have case number 20 CF 656. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for failing to report your email address or your instant messenger name.
Yeah.
I don't want you to tell me about it. I'm just telling you why you were arrested, okay? All right, sir, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. And I'm not gonna take any action on the out on bond case. Mr. O'Brien, you have reporting requirements when you're released from the jail. You need to report to the, you need to report your residence, okay?
Yeah.
You understand?
To do, I
I'm sorry, sir, I can't, I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me. Maybe you could write it down for your lawyer there.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not here now. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Good morning, your name?
Diego Osorio.
Sir, you were here in 20 CF 1204. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for extortion. There's probable cause as pursuant to the warrant. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with Catherine Van Dyke. You are, he doesn't qualify for PTR?
What's PT?
All right. I'm gonna set bond at $1,000 or pretrial release if you qualify, sir. Thank you.
Do I get a phone?
Your Honor, you said bond or PTR?
I did.
Okay.
So do I?
Can you, hold on.
Sorry. Good one, sir. Thank you.
Is that Mr. Quinlan's family? Were you here for Mr. Quinlan? No? Okay. Oh, okay. Did they have any questions about the case they were here for? Okay, all right, thank you. Oh, then let's bring him back in a second, Dexter, if he has an ICE detainer, so we don't have to bring him back tomorrow. And are you Mr. Quinlan?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I had moved the face sheet over before I
Nope.
addressed you.
It's okay.
You're here in 20 CF 1293. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. There's probable cause, sir. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Quinlan, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, subject to the following condition, that you do not drive without a valid driver's license, and that you maintain contact with your lawyer. Contact them, sir, within 24 hours of your release. You'll call the public defender's office, let them know where you're staying and a good phone number for you, so that way you can stay on top of your court date.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Is this Mr. Robinson? Are you Mr. Robinson?
No, ma'am, Mr. Rogers.
Okay. Yes, I just wasn't sure if you guys knew. Okay, great. You're Mr. Rogers?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. You are here in 20 CF 1296. You were arrested for possession of Xanax, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting officer without violence. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Actually, you didn't fill out the affidavit, sir. Were you gonna hire a lawyer to represent you?
For this, I want a public defender, please.
Okay. Are you working?
Yes, ma'am.
How much money do you make every 2 weeks after taxes?
I make 9 a week.
900 a week?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any dependents?
Like people who depend on me.
Well, like children that you take
Yes,
care
I
of?
got 2 kids, but like they don't stay with me.
So 900, 2 kids? All right. You're gonna have to hire a lawyer, sir. You don't qualify for the public defender based upon your income.
Understood.
Okay? Your bond on count 1 is 1,000, your bond on count 2 is 150, 3, 100, 4, 100. Thank you, sir.
ma'am.
Sir, I also have to inform you that you have an immigration hold.
Immigration hold?
Correct. So they're gonna come talk to you before you go.
Does that mean I'm not bonding out?
Not until the immigration hold is lifted. Okay? Yeah, thank you.
I have a question. Does the immigration hold, are they gonna talk to me today?
I'm not sure. Do they have 3 days? Is it 3 days that they have to come talk to them on the immigration hold? They pretty much have their own time. Oh. Okay.
Cause I have a social and everything.
I see. It may not be today, sir, but you won't be able to leave until they talk to you. Okay?
Thank you, Ernie.
I need more information about that. I feel like. I would want to know. Good morning. Sir,
Good morning.
good morning. Tell me your name.
D'Angelo Stevenson.
What is it?
D'Angelo Stevenson.
What about Eduardo Santiago Martinez?
Suspension.
I feel like I may have already seen DeMar Rogers, but maybe not. Oh, I just saw Miss Rogers. That goes with the other one. There you go. I don't know how they got stuck there. I'm sorry, sir. Tell me your name one more time.
D'Angelo Stevenson.
Thank you, sir. This is 20 CF 1302. Sir, you were arrested for armed kidnapping and carjacking with a firearm. There is probable cause for the offenses. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Sir, you are not to have any contact with Brad Johnson or your co-defendant. You're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms, and you're not to return to 635 North Westmoreland Drive. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state asked the court to consider all the facts in the arrest affidavit, including that this crime was captured on an iris camera and observed as it was occurring by a law enforcement officer. The handgun was observed in the hand of defendant 1 by officers as he attempted to enter the vehicle of victim 2. And this defendant made admissions regarding the elements of the crime to law enforcement officers. The state argues that there is proof evident or presumption grade and asks that the court hold the defendant without bond to prevent flight and for the safety of the community.
Ms. Fusco, or, I'm sorry, Ms. Fowler.
We defer the matter to the court.
All right. The state has met their burden to establish that there is proof evident or presumption grade. At this time, bond on count 1 and 2 will remain at none, sir. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Ron Jarvius Tarver.
Mr. Tarver, you are here in case number 19 CF 16976. You were arrested for fraudulent use of personal identification cards over 10 persons, obtaining property by fraud, and possession of a counterfeit driver's license. This was pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Alright, bond on count 1 is going to be 10,000. Bond on count 2 is going to be 150. Bond on count 3 is 150. Sir, you're not to have any contact with any of the victims in this case. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. Are you Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Brown, you are here in case number 20MO189. You were arrested for unauthorized presence in an unoccupied or furnished building. Ms. Fowler, I know that you have a probable cause as to this case. It's the same situation as the
Yes, ma'am.
prior defendant. Do you want to talk to your client for a moment?
Yes. Your Honor, we would like to see if the state has an offer.
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court cost.
Mr. Brown, did you want to accept the offer?
Your Honor, he would like to take the offer.
All right.
What time do I get out?
Mr. Brown, did you read the plea form before you signed it, sir?
Yeah, I read it.
Do you have any-
a copy in there?
Sure. Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea,
I can't hear you.
do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen that this?
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Brown, just let me finish my statement, okay? And then you can answer. You might know what I'm gonna say, but just let me finish, okay? But you were telling me that you're a U.S. citizen, is that right? Okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
Clonidine for my blood pressure, but no. I understand what's going on.
Okay, sir. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs, which are due by January 30th of 2021. You're not to return to 614 Washington Street. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Mr. Brown, you have court tomorrow at 10 a.m. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay, so make sure that you appear, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. I'm not taking any action on that case. Good morning.
Fennell.
Tell me your name, please.
Fennell.
Mr. Fennell. You are here in 20MO188. You were arrested for being in an unoccupied or unfinished building. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Fennell?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court cost.
And that includes the no return?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fennell, did you want to accept the offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sign the plea form, please. Sir, did you have a chance to read the plea form before court
Yes,
this
ma'am.
morning? Do you have any questions about
No,
any of,
ma'am.
Mr. Fennell?
Yes.
Just
Okay.
give me a sec to ask the question, okay? I know that you know what I'm gonna ask you, okay? Just let me finish the question. Did you have any questions about any of the rights on the plea form that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
All right. Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You're not to return to 614 West Washington Street. You're gonna have to pay court costs, which are due by January 30th of 2021.
Yes.
And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Hoover?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hoover, you are here, sir, in 20 MO 190. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Mr. Hoover, would you be interested in potentially resolving your other case this morning as well? You have an out on bond case. You're due back in court on the 6th. It looks like the state transferred it to county court. I'm just trying to see what they filed. Oh, no, they transferred it up. All right, Mr. Hoover. Ms. Fusco, did you have an offer for Mr. Hoover?
Yes, Your Honor, as to the disorderly conduct, that would be, the offer would be adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court costs.
All right. Mr. Hoover, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just sign the plea form, please. Okay. Do you have it? Is it served on you? So would there be a hold on it?
It's on hold yet. They just call once to see if it's in the system, they can get served on this.
Like, have an attorney on it? Yeah, an attorney.
I mean, it would be better to have a hold than to have them just leave and then have to get rearrested. So, Mr. Okay. It's interesting because it was transferred back in November, and now they're issuing the plea here. Okay. Mr. Hoover, the case that you're out on bond for is now a felony matter. It appears that capias has been issued for your arrest in that case. So they're gonna call to see if we can get that served on you before you leave, because you're gonna resolve your case that you have, the disorderly conduct, and then what would happen is you'd just be released, and then you're gonna get rearrested and brought right back. So they're gonna see if they can get that taken care of
All right.
before you go, okay? Did you, read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Um,
Yes, I ain't going.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication
No,
that would
ma'am.
affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that no? Did you understand my question? Were you listening?
Yes, I understood. No, I haven't done any drugs or anything.
All right, sir. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by January 30th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Do you think maybe he can come back after lunch? Okay, and then if not, he'd just be back in the morning. Okay. We're going to try to get you back after lunch, Mr. Hoover, okay?
All right.
I'm not taking any action right now, and then if they bring me back, it'll be a new case. Good morning, your name?
I'm Lang.
Mr. Lang, you are here in 20 MO 191 for being in an unoccupied or unfurnished building in case number 20 MO 191. I'll appoint the public defender. Ms. Fowler, do you want to talk to him for a moment?
Yes, I spoke with him. He would like to see if the state has an offer.
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court cost, and no return to the scene.
Mr. Lang, do you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sign the plea form, please. Did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by January 30th of 2021. You can't return to 614 West Washington Street, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Thomas? Yes? You're Mr. James Thomas? Okay, sir. This is 20 CO 102. You were arrested for soliciting without a permit. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Thomas?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court cost.
Mr. Thomas, did you want to accept the offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just sign the plea form, please. Sir, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days. In the Orange County Jail, you have credit for 2 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by January 30th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Jeffrey Crittenton.
Mr. Crittenden, you are here in 20 MM 748. You were arrested for open container and handbill distribution that is prohibited. There's probable cause. Was there an offer for Mr. Crittenden?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court cost.
Did you want to accept the offer, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sign the plea form, please. Did you have a chance to read the plea form before court?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the plea form?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Those are due by January 30th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, good morning. Are you Mr. Williams?
Later.
Are you Mr. Elroy?
Yep.
Okay. This is 20 730. Welcome back. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Elroy?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court costs.
Did you want to take that offer, sir?
Nah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You all right, Mr. Elroy?
Huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah,
All right. Did you have a chance to read the plea form before you signed it?
yeah, yeah,
Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the plea form?
no,
Are you on probation?
no, no,
All right. Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation? Do you
Yeah.
understand that?
yeah,
Okay. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to
No.
understand what's happening in court today?
no.
I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You're going to have to pay court costs. Those are due by January 30th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
You Mr. Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you are here in case number 20 739. You were arrested for petty theft.
Yes, ma'am.
There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm assuming there's no offer for Mr. Jackson, is that right?
Not at this time, Your Honor, as there's prior history and it's enhanceable.
See, here's my dilemma, Mr. Jackson. You were just convicted in December of petty theft with 2 prior convictions.
Yes,
Out
ma'am.
on bond for a petty theft with 2 prior convictions. And now you're accused of stealing from the Wawa again.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jackson, you can't go back to the Wawa at 5810 Raleigh Street. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm gonna stay your bond at $250, and I'm not gonna take any action on your out on bond case today.
Okay.
Mr. Jackson, if I see you again and you're accused of stealing something, I'm revoking all your bonds.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning, your name?
Jasmine Butler.
Ms. Butler, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from Osceola County, Florida, related to a violation of probation for grand theft. Your bond is set at none. Osceola County is going to come and pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get there.
I had got out on the 7th of January, and they supposedly signed for me on the 14th for probation.
I don't know, ma'am. This is an Osceola County case. I don't have any jurisdiction over that matter, so I don't have any additional information except for that there is a warrant for your arrest and what it's related to. But Osceola County is supposed to come get you within 24 hours.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Joseph Haddock is TLT Osceola County.
Okay. Mr. Hearns?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Polk County related to a VOP for driving while licensed suspended in possession of drug paraphernalia. Your bond is set at none. Polk County is going to come pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get there.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name?
Terry O'Journier.
Ma'am, you are here for an out-of-county warrant from Osceola County related to a violation of probation for petty theft. Your bond is set at none. Osceola County is going to come pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get there. Thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Jacob Kittle?
Mr. Kittle, you are here for an out-of-county warrant out of Lake County for failing to appear on a violation of probation matter for resisting officer without violence and trespass to a structure or a conveyance. Your bond is $5,000 on each count. If you're unable to post that bond, Lake County is going to come pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get there. All right, thank you. Good morning, are you Mr. Scott? Mr. Scott, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from Lake County. It's a violation of probation related to tampering with an electronic monitoring device. Your bond is set at none, sir. And Pinellas County is going to come pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get there. All right, thank you. Did I say Hillsborough to you in the beginning?
Too late.
Did I really? I'm sorry. It's Pinellas. Good morning. Are you Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, sir, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Volusia County for, looks like it's a purge for non-payment of child support. Your purge amount is $820, sir.
Who comes out my check? I don't see why I'm here.
Pardon me?
It comes out my check.
Yeah, I don't know, sir. If you can't pay the purge amount, the Volusia County is gonna come and pick you up, and you'll see a Volusia County judge regarding the child support issue. Okay? Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
William Edward Baston.
All right, Mr. Baston, I have it here. It's 20MM38. This is defense motion for release on your own recognizance. Ms. Fusco, did you have a position on the motion?
The defendant has an extensive criminal history, but as this is a trespass and 911 case, we defer to the court's discretion.
And Your Honor, despite his criminal history, he has zero failure to appears.
Okay.
I'm reluctant to grant the motion because Mr. Baston, I saw him and I didn't, he's out on bond already
Yes,
for
ma'am.
attempted burglary of an occupied structure. I didn't take any action on that case at the first appearance.
It's a conveyance, ma'am.
Excuse me, and it does say conveyance. Mr. Baston, you have no ability to post the bond amount.
No, no, Your Honor, I sure don't.
Have you attempted to call any bondsmen or any family members?
I don't remember anybody's number. The bondsman said that I have to have somebody sign, and I don't know nobody's number, ma'am. I Google everything, ask Google to call them for me, so.
I can understand that.
I've lived in Orlando all my life, and I have family in the area right where I'm living now.
My issue though, Mr. Basson, is that you keep getting accused of committing crimes, right?
Yes, ma'am. I was arrested.
You don't need to tell me about the facts of your case. Just from my perspective,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
difficult to allow you just to go back out into the community when you're not allegedly not following the rules.
I learned my, I don't know what to say, yeah.
All right, Mr. Basson, I'm going to grant your motion. You're not to return to the Walmart. You're to contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release to give them the contact information for you. You'll be given a court date when you leave the jail. You need to make sure that you appear at that court date. I would consider this your opportunity, your one opportunity. I would take advantage of it, sir, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Good morning, your name?
Frankie Bojorquez.
Sir, you were here in 20 MM23 seeking the appointment of the public defender. You do qualify based upon your affidavit. I will appoint their office to represent you. Ms. Fowler's going to give you some information so that you can get in contact with their office.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, so we have to call this one on the record. This one is 19 CT 1671. This is just so we can correct the record and get a new order. I just need to have the order, the court minutes reflect that her probation sentence is 247 days. And then, right. So 247 days, and then that she is, and then we have to add, all original conditions remain in place. It wasn't on the original order. You just do like regular court minutes, and then you can just put that it's non-proton back to the date of the original order, and then just put probation time, the dates of probation is 247 days, and all original conditions remain in place. Okay. That's what we'll do. All right. I didn't see Robinson. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll do that. I forgot about the project. Mr. Robinson. Wait, I have the phone number here. What's the lawyer's name? It's on the sheet. Oh, Parker? Yep. Is he on the phone? Okay. Good morning. Is this Attorney Parker?
Good morning, Judge. Yes, this is Richard Parker.
Hi, this is Judge Carter. This is case number, oh, hold on, we're waiting for your client to appear. Good morning, sir. Are you Mr. Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your attorney is appearing by phone, so your attorney is present. You just can't see that he's here. You were arrested, sir, pursuant to a probable cause warrant in 20 CF 668 for failing to report a name or residence change. Mr. Parker, did you want to be heard on the bond amount?
Yes, Judge, and I'll put some other information on the record
Sure.
as well. Is the bond currently set at this time?
They came in on no bond, but he's entitled to bond.
Okay. Judge, as far as the facts of this case, it's my understanding that Mr. Robinson changed residence in January, and the sheriff is saying that he didn't report to the DMV to change his address at the DMV. My understanding, based on talking to Mr. Robinson, is that he did go to the DMV and they wanted a proof of mail, like that he was receiving mail at the address, and he could not provide that. I later learned from the sheriff that he could have provided the registration form from the sheriff's office, and they would have changed his address, even though he hadn't started receiving mail there. Mr. Robinson's been registering for 4 years. Has never had any issues, no prior failure registers. He has a wife here in Orange County as well as 2 children. And their plan, because I just saw Mr. Robinson before Christmas, was to move to Apopka. And they've gotten a residence there, and that's where they're going to continue to live together as a family. What I'm planning on doing, Judge, is going to Jenny Rossman at the state attorney's office and doing a proffer based on the facts that I know in this case,
Okay.
and asking them to do a no information notice. As far as the bond in this case, I would ask that the court set bond at $1,000, and with any conditions the court feels is appropriate.
Okay, he also has 20 CF 1291, which is a failure to report your email address or instant messenger.
I don't have an email.
I'm not familiar with those allegations. I can look into it further and see what merit there are to that.
Well, based on the facts that are contained in the probable cause affidavit, I don't think that there's probable cause for that section of the statute based upon the information that's contained in the affidavit for the email or instant messenger address. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. Could we have an additional 24 hours to get a supplemental police report as to that allegation?
Okay. So, Mr. Parker, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give the state their 24 hours to grant, or I'm going to grant the state the 24 hours to find additional information supporting that allegation, but I'm going to set him a bond on that case. If they don't have it and he's unable to bond out, then he'd be released ROR on that second case.
Yeah, is there 2 counts?
There's 2, so he has 2 cases. So there was an arrest affidavit, right? So he was arrested on a warrant for the name change or residence change. And then there's an add-on charge, which is an actual, arrest affidavit with the failure to report the email address or instant messenger change. So there's 2 different statute numbers that are being alleged for violation.
So can you do 1,000 per count?
Well, I'm gonna do 1,000 on the warrant, and I'm gonna do 100 on the add-on.
Okay, that works. And then I'll go talk to the state attorney's office and sort it out.
Okay. Mr. Robinson, you do, as you're aware, have reporting requirements, and that's gonna kick in also when you leave the jail, when you bond out of the jail.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, that's all. Mr. Parker, anything else?
No, Judge, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you.
There's that. Oh, here's these back. And then, Ms. Fusco, are you ready on the 33-day motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Shoot, did I accidentally hand you the form that I looking for my, here it is. My LS, my little cheat sheet. All right, 19 CF 17529, Kimberly Jones.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 29th, there was a notice of non-filing.
All right, that'll be granted. Nineteen MM 10349, Alberto Rodriguez Jr.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 27th, there was a notice of non-filing.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 14662, Jeremy Reynolds.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 29th, there was a notice of non-filing.
That'll be granted. 19 CF 17537, Philip Harris.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 30th, this morning, an information was filed. The filing ID is 102465518.
That'll be denied. And 19 CF 17576, Andre Francis.
Yes, Your Honor. This one is untimely. It's been 31 days, and the time runs on February 1st.
That's right. I'll deny the motion as being untimely. Devet, you can refile that when it's right. All right, and then we'll get recess. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Letitia Follow, the Office of Public Defender.
Elaine Fusco, State Attorney's Office.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Christopher Cherry.
Mr. Cherry, sir, you are here in 20 CF 1318. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause. Your bond is $500. And then you have an out-of-county violation of probation based upon the facts contained in the new law offense. There is probable cause for the violation of probation. Sir, that bond is going to be set at none. Is it just the one? Is there 2? Just the one, okay. All right, sir. If you bond out on the Orange County case, Seminole County will come and pick you up regarding the violation of probation. All right. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Michael Hooks.
Mr. Hooks, sir, you are here in 20 CF 1317. You were arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, trafficking in cocaine greater than 28 grams but less than 200, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cocaine, tampering with physical evidence, resisting officer with violence, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for the offenses. You also have 20 CT 731 where you were arrested for no valid driver's license. There's probable cause for that offense, sir. Bond is $100. I'll appoint the public defender in both cases this morning. Bond on count 1 in the felony matter will be $150. Bond on count 2 is going to be $50,000. Bond on count 3 is $150. Bond on count 4 is $150. Bond on count 5 is $150, 6, $150, 7, $100. I'm revoking the bonds in 20 CF 23 and 20 CF 239. Those will be set at none. Thank you, sir.
What bonds is that?
You're out of bond. And Osceola.
All right.
I did.
So I can't bond out?
Your Honor, Miss Melody Rich is TY to Aspire.
Okay, then she'll just get reset when she comes back. Yeah, don't, the TDUIs, they get reset when they come back from Aspire. So corrections, I think.
Is 24 hours,
From return from hospital?
just like hospital, yeah.
Good, morning, sir, your name?
Jared Shelley.
Mr. Shelley, you're here in 20 CF 1310. You were arrested for possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is going to be $500, sir. I'm revoking the bond in 19 CF 17133. That will be set at none. Thank you.
Adam Weber bonded.
Okay. Good morning. Are you Mr. Williamson?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are here in 19 CF 14022. You failed to appear for arraignment on January 7th of this year. Your bond in that case is set at none.
Yes, ma'am. I wrote a letter to Judge Gail Adams. If you could contact her, she should have the letter. As far as that court date I did miss, I was out of town and I was helping my mother with the kids while she was sick. I wrote a letter to Judge Gail Adams for that. And I also had a court date today for trial for the resisting arrest. I also wanted to let you know that too, because I don't want them to put out another warrant for me.
Sure.
As well. And
Thank you, Mr. Williamson. So I will email the judge in your misdemeanor case and let them know that you were here in court.
okay.
But, Mr. Williamson, I have to tell you that I'm revoking your bond in that matter anyway because of your new case in 20 CF 1316, where you were arrested for possession of methamphetamine, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, and possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender in all of your cases this morning in the event that they weren't previously appointed. Bond on count 1 in the felony matter is 1,000. Bond on count 2 is 100. Bond on, or 150. Bond on count 3 is 150. Bond on count 4 is 100. As I previously stated, the bond in the out on bond case is revoked.
Okay.
You have to
Is
have
it
your
po-
lawyer file a motion, sir.
Okay. Is it possible I could have a probable cause challenge?
That's something your lawyer would have to raise.
Isaiah Leader bonded, Your Honor.
Okay,
Mr. Odom is in the hospital.
all right. The bond there. Mr. Odom is hospital. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Angela Renee Winchester.
Miss Winchester, you are here in case number 20MO194. You were arrested for state misdemeanors. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Miss Winchester?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court costs.
Ma'am, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sign the plea form, please. Did you read the plea form before court this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court this morning?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 1 day time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by January 30th of 2021. And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Do you have a question?
I have a bond. A bond
Okay, related to what?
for the affidavit from yesterday. It's $250.
Right, so you just resolved this case, so you just entered a plea of no contest to the charge. So the case is gone. You don't, it's no longer exists. So you wouldn't have to pay the bond. You're going to be released tomorrow.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name?
My name is Joseph Mundo, Your Honor.
Mr. Mundo, sir, you were here in 20 CF 1267. You were arrested for battery on a security officer and possession of drug paraphernalia.
I did not have drug paraphernalia. I was on medication for my back. I told the officer.
Wait. Mr. Mundo, not that I don't want to hear what you have to say, but everything that you say in this room is recorded and it can be used later. So anything that you want to explain about your case will have to be on another day.
Oh.
Okay?
Yes.
Today I'm just going to set your bond and your conditions of release and let you know why you're here.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank
Okay.
you.
So you were again arrested for battery on a security officer and possession of drug paraphernalia. You can test the factual basis for that at another day. I'm going to set your bond at $500 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. You're not to have any contact with the victim, and you're not to return to Advent Health. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms, sir. Thank you. And then we'll be in recess.